Greetings, and welcome to Tales from the Terran Republic, Chapter 2, Damage Control. Introducing the Terran Ambassador and his rather unique take on diplomacy. Ambassador John Wintersmith sipped coffee as he watched his holomonitor. Scenes from the Zoosh Civil War were playing on just about every Federation news channel. Blown apart troop transports, shredded habitation pods, crash landing craft, and, of course, pixelated dead Federation peacekeepers have been playing damn near 24 hours a day for the past few days. He smiled. It was the standard Federation clusterfuck. Now, the Zoosh government force is screwing the pooch you could understand, but the Federation should have learned by now. He turned to an uncensored Federation government feed to watch actual combat footage and nodded approvingly. The Zoosh were pretty damn good shots. He had no idea who supplied them, but they had clearly bought the good stuff. They were using frontline hardware, especially those armor-piercing rounds. Those had to be late generation stuff, at least Mark 12 from the looks of the carnage. The feed suddenly shifted to a static-filled picture of a mushroom cloud rising in the distance. John's smile faded. Who the fuck sold the nukes? One political incident coming right up. He pulled out an edible from the desk drawer and consumed it, savoring every morsel. Grandma made the best brownies. Another mushroom cloud popped up, then another. Fuck. He picked up the analog telephone on his desk and called his secretary. "Good morning, sir. Have you been watching the feeds?" His Kalish secretary lisped with undisguised amusement. "Yes, I have. Get me in touch with Terran intelligence." "I've already started the process." John smiled again. Good old Toby. Annoyingly efficient as always. A few minutes later, his phone rang. "Hey, John, this is Helen." "Helen, hi. The Zoosh just used nukes. Is there something you need to tell me?" They didn't get them from us, if that's what you're asking." "Any ideas?" "Nothing confirmed. We do know that Sheila Donovan was recently seen in the company of an unknown Zoosh, though," Helen replied. John groaned. "Can we just arrest her already?" "For what? Having lunch? We don't have shit on her." "We never have shit on her. You guys are intelligence, right? Can't you just make the problem go away?" Since the shooting stopped, we are avoiding extra-legal solutions, especially after that fiasco on Aya. The best I can do is list her as wanted for questioning concerning matters of Republic security, Category 1, but she's had that dubious honor for a while. "Ambassador, Councillor K. Shalta is here wishing to speak to you urgently," Toby said over the intercom. "I bet he does. Helen, I gotta do damage control over here." Helen cut off the communication. Toby, let the Honorable Councillor in and make some cream tea." "Will do, boss. The Honorable Councillor prefers Pescia. I'll brew that instead." "I do not desire refreshment. I require answers." K. Shalta screamed loudly as he stormed in, his crest fully engorged and pulsing. John rose and bowed politely. "Counselor, to what do I owe the honor of your presence?" John said with amused courtesy. The sight of an enraged Pol Ka is something that always tickled him. Pissing them off was sort of a hobby of his. The edible was starting to kick in, and he had to keep himself from giggling. You know exactly why I'm here. Calm down, counselor. Anger does not facilitate constructive communication. John laughed. Keishaotai used that exact same line on him once, and he loved rubbing it in his face every single time he could. Keishaotai became silent, shaking with rage. Let's try using our grown-up inside voices. Now let's try this again. To what do I owe the honor of your presence? As you are no doubt already aware, Terran combat arms and fusion explosives have been used by the Zoosh insurgents in their illegal insurrection. Yeah, the Zoosh dragoons and your peacekeepers are getting their asses handed to them by some miners. I've been watching the feeds. They're pretty good. You admire them? Now, inside voices, please. John giggled despite his best efforts. A Muppet with inflatable peckers popping out of his head was just too much. To answer the question that is odds are the reason for you gracing me with your most august personages is no. No, we did not supply the rebels, and no, we do not know who did. The next answer is yes. Yes, we are looking for them, and yes, we are taking this seriously. John gave Keishaotai a pleasant, lightly stoned smile. This was a fantastic batch of brownies. He made a mental note to call Grandpa. Keishaotai quivered with rage. He hated the Terrans with a burning passion. Every time he saw one, he immediately remembered slithering over the dead and clawing his way past the living as he surged towards an escape pod in a blind panic, with Terran Marines right behind him, calmly slaughtering their way through the station. That was horrible, but what truly tightly bound hatred to his heart was the short message burned into the hull of his pod as he made good his escape. Your life has been spared by the Terran Republic. He blinked hard, trying to swallow the hate and rage and remain professional. The war was over. He had to try to move on. But each and every time he saw a Terran, it all came back, and John was perhaps the worst. Most species chose their most polite, most diplomatic, most deferential individuals to be ambassadors to the Federation. But the Terrans, they sent John. To use a human term, John was an asshole. Keishaotai, in his studies of the human language, had always struggled with human idioms, slang, and obscenity. But the word asshole he understood. John was an asshole. He wasn't posted as ambassador in order to encourage peace and mutual understanding, but more as an enduring go and fuck yourself, directed to the Federation. Go and fuck yourself was a phrase Keishaotai was also familiar with. It was used by John quite often. What he hated most about John were the medals. He wore all of his decorations denoting his experience and prowess in battle on his diplomatic uniform. Keishaotai had informed himself regarding the meaning concerning each and every one and the bloody swath across the galaxy they represented. The one that was the absolute worst was the stylized silver human skull and crossed femurs on a notched black obsidian background. It was the mark given to a Marine raider, with each notch representing 10 kills. He had seen them before, killing their way across his homeworld in their expressionless powered exoskeletons. John had a lot of notches. Keishal Ta checked the brainwave scanner he had implanted in one of his manipulators. As usual, the brainwaves from John were utterly unusable. He did not know whether it was some primitive technology or archaic martial discipline, but John could change the baseline of his mental state seemingly at will. He could somehow make everything seem funny to himself, regardless of the gravity of the situation. All he could detect was mild euphoria and hilarity. Do you honestly expect the Federation to believe that you do not know the origin of those fusion bombs? John looked over at Keishal Ta and laughed. Do you have any idea how many nukes we produced? No. How many? It wasn't a rhetorical question. We have absolutely no idea how many we made. We were cranking those babies out as fast as we could, and we made them by the millions. John looked at a data screen. From what we can gather, the ones the Zeus freedom fighters are using are between a Type 5 to a Type 8, he continued. Those were belt-fed into mass accelerators and sprayed by the dozen. You remember, right? You're from where? Zarin 7, isn't it? John smiled, revealing his wide, fang-laden mouth. Keishal Ta lunged forward with a primal hiss, pincer splayed as he nearly leapt over John's desk. John rose from his desk, still wearing that toothy grin. Why, Counselor, you surprise me. Where is that stately decorum for which the Federation is known? You're acting almost Terran. Not that I object, of course, he snickered. Green phlegm started bubbling from Keishal Ta's primary mouth, dripping onto John's desk. Keishal Ta, shuddering with rage, drew himself up to his full height, and without bothering to wipe the rage phlegm from his face, said, "The Federation is disinclined to believe that the distribution of fusion weaponry to those acting against the Federation is accidental and is in fact deliberate. We view this as an act of war." "Okay, sounds good to me," John said with a giggle. Keishal Ta blinked in shock. "Do you not realize the gravity of my statement?" "Sure do." John picked up his toppled cup and went to the coffee maker and poured another drink. "Let me explain something to you." Took a long, slow sip. "A lot of Terrans think the war ended way too soon, including myself. A lot of us think we should have kept going, myself included. A lot of us, including myself, view sneak attacks, especially when we were already weakened due to a conflict with the collective, to be a dick move, and would love, truly and deeply love, watching the entire Federation burn. So forgive me if I don't throw myself down in front of you, begging for the almighty Federation to spare us lowly, backward, primitive humans." John advanced towards a bubbling and spluttering Keishal Ta. "If you want to declare war, go right ahead. I'm begging you to do it." He continued his advance, backing Keishal Ta into a corner. "So the way I see it, you have two choices. You can declare war over some surplus from a war that you started coming back to bite you in the ass, or you can take your bullshit threats and fuck off." Keishal Ta hissed and spat a huge wad of rage phlegm John's, splattering his uniform, shoved him out of the way, and stormed off. "Are you certain you don't want to stay for tea?" John called after him with a giggle. An enraged scream echoed down the hall. John grinned, took off his now slimy jacket, and flopped into his chair. "Diplomacy is hard," he said with a smile as he reached for another edible. Thank you for listening to Chapter 2, Damage Control, of Tales from the Terran Republic. I hope you enjoyed it, And as always, please stay tuned for Chapter 3. And if you are so inclined, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment and stuff. All right, catch you next time for Chapter 3. You're going to like it. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.